President Trump is once again projecting the image of a strongman leader, warning allies and adversaries alike. Trump doubled down on his warning of steeper tariffs on Indian imports. New Delhi is not just a major export market, remember, but a strategic counterweight to China and a key partner in defense, technology, energy.
Alright folks, these past few days have been absolutely brutal for Modi. I mean, we're talking worse than eating bitter herbs kind of bad. You know that saying, trouble comes when you least expect it? Well, India's not just sitting at home waiting for trouble, they're on their knees while getting slapped from above. So here's what went down. Right after the US military wrapped up their Venezuela operation and basically hauled Maduro off for a little chat, Trump's adrenaline was clearly through the roof. And what does he do? On Air Force One, in front of the entire world's media, he decided to give India's Prime Minister Modi a masterclass. And the subject of this masterclass? How to be an obedient servant 101. I mean, just listen to Trump's exact words. The man literally has hegemony written all over his face. Modi's a nice guy, but he knows I'm very unhappy right now, and making me happy is very important to him. You guys hear that? Does that sound like one major power leader talking to another? Hell no. That sounds like a mob boss dressing down some rookie who just joined the crew. Kid, the boss ain't happy. You better figure out how to fix it. And if you don't fix it, oh, Trump's already got his backup plan ready, more tariffs. And we're not talking about adding a little bit, we're talking about piling it on top of the 50% that's already there. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, wait, isn't this crazy? Isn't India supposed to be America's sweetheart in the Indo-Pacific strategy? Aren't they trying to court India to counter that big Eastern power? How can they just flip like this? Well, let me peel back the layers on this for you because there's a whole lot going on beneath the surface. Layer 1. Kicking you when you're down, the pressure test. What's Trump's mental state right now? He just wrapped up Venezuela and his confidence is absolutely sky high. He's got a hammer in his hand and suddenly everything looks like a nail. In just one day, January 4th, Trump threatened 7 countries. Let me run through this list for you. First up, Venezuela again. Trump said if the Venezuelan government doesn't cooperate, he's not ruling out a second strike. Then Colombia. Trump casually mentioned that taking action against Colombia sounds pretty good. Number 3, Cuba. Trump said without Venezuelan oil, Cuba won't be able to hold up. 4th, Mexico. Trump said action must be taken because drugs are flooding into Mexico like crazy. Then Iran. Trump said he's watching the recent unrest in Iran closely and might deliver a severe blow. 6th, Denmark. Trump said, from a national security perspective, America urgently needs Greenland. And finally, the gun barrel stopped right at India's forehead. He saw Modi's weakness and decided to exploit it completely. Look, after the US slapped that 50% tariff on India, did Modi dare to retaliate? Nope. He didn't even dare to publicly criticize the illegal seizure of Maduro. In a businessman's eyes, if you're already on your knees, I'm not just going to make you bow, I'm going to empty every dollar out of your pockets. Layer 2. The ultimate scam. Stealing oil fields and finding a sucker. Now this layer, folks, this is where Trump's real agenda shows its true colors. Pay attention to this terrifying number. One of Trump's close friends, a senior senator, already put it out there. If India keeps buying Russian oil, the US might slap a 500% tariff on them. 500%, people. That's not doing business, that's a death sentence. Why go this hard? Because Trump's got a new card in his hand, Venezuelan oil. Does anyone actually think the US went after Venezuela to catch drug dealers? Come on, get real. Trump's been completely transparent about this. Big American oil companies are moving into Venezuela and the US is going to take over that oil supply in the future. But here's the problem. American oil and Venezuelan oil are separated by the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Shipping costs are insane. There's no competitive advantage. So what do you do when you've got all this product and nowhere to sell it? That's when Trump zeroed in on India, the world's biggest soft target. And his calculation is crystal clear. Oh, so you've been enjoying buying Russian oil, huh? Putin gives you a 30% discount, and you're making a killing on the markup, right? Okay, well, I'm shutting that down, and I've got my excuse already. Buying Russian oil means funding Putin's military, which means you're complicit in attacking Ukraine. Never mind that everyone knows India and Russia have been tight for decades. Putin and Modi literally hug when they meet. Half of India's weapons are Russian-made. Trump doesn't care about any of that. He's blocking India's access to Russian oil for one reason only, to force them to buy expensive American and Venezuelan oil instead. This is a masterclass in killing 2 birds with 1 stone. 1. Cut off Russia's cash flow. 2. Force India to absorb American production capacity. This is straight-up mob economics. My oil is expensive? Doesn't matter. I won't let you buy from anyone else, so you've got no choice but to buy from me. Layer 3. Beyond energy. Harvesting your entire market. But wait, there's more. Oil is just the opening act. Trump wants to strip India down in agriculture too. US-India trade talks have been dragging on forever. Why can't they reach a deal? Because Modi doesn't dare open up the agricultural market. That's the livelihood of hundreds of millions of farmers. But with that 500% tariff sledgehammer hanging over his head, with the threat of buy my oil or I'll destroy you, how long can Modi hold out? Trump wants results. He wants American products sold worldwide. Whether Indian farmers end up drinking the northwest wind, that's not on his radar at all. Layer 4. Respect is earned through strength, not submission. Now here's where the most fascinating comparison comes in. Right in the middle of Trump threatening and humiliating India, he mentioned China. He said the tariff card works on China too, but, and here's the key, he admitted, China also has ways to deal with us. He even pragmatically stated that the Venezuela situation won't affect US-China relations, and he still plans to visit China as scheduled. You guys catching the difference here? When talking about India, you need to make me happy. When talking about China, we both have leverage against each other. This is Geopolitics 101, folks, raw, unfiltered realism. Modi thought that as long as he stayed flexible, as long as he cooperated with America's Indo-Pacific strategy, as long as he played the good little ally, the big boss would throw him some scraps. What happened instead? The boss didn't just take his bowl, he flipped the whole table, and now he's forcing Modi to buy overpriced oil. The conclusion is harsh, but it's real. In this jungle world, being a docile sheep doesn't earn you the wolf's mercy. It only makes the wolf hungrier. Trump's words aren't just a slap in Modi's face, they're a bucket of ice water poured over everyone who has illusions about hegemonic powers. You don't have to be a wolf yourself, but you better be holding a rifle. Otherwise, the next time you make him unhappy, the price might be a whole lot steeper than just a 500% tariff. Alright, that's it for this video. Looking at Modi's situation right now, I can only leave him with this piece of advice. Stop being a lapdog, because when it's all said and done, you might end up with absolutely nothing. See you in the next one. Peace out.
Tonight, the world is getting a clear and consistent message from Washington. Obey or else. President Trump is once again projecting the image of a strongman leader, warning allies and adversaries alike that economic pressure, diplomatic coercion, even military threats remain very much on the table. From trade to war crimes, from tariffs to sanctions, the Trump doctrine appears simple. America sets the rules and the world falls in line, at least they hope. Speaking aboard Air Force One alongside U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham, Trump doubled down on his warning of steeper tariffs on Indian imports, even as he praised Prime Minister Modi and highlighted the complexity of the India-US relationship. The warning comes despite ongoing trade talks and a recent telephonic conversation between the two leaders aimed at preserving bilateral momentum. Tariffs as high as 50%, remember, have already disrupted negotiations. Economic partnership comes with conditions. Senator Graham has even claimed that these measures are the primary reason India has cut back on Russian oil purchases. Now, while Trump continues to wield tariffs as a tool of pressure, the question still is looming over Washington. Can he afford a prolonged trade war with India? New Delhi is not just a major export market, remember, but a strategic counterweight to China and a key partner in defense, technology, energy. Escalating tariffs risking undercutting U.S. businesses, disrupting supply chains, pushing India to deepen ties with other global powers. And these tariffs also raising huge doubts over whether such economic coercion will actually deliver gains or will they create lasting strategic costs? Let's now shed more light on all of this. Recently, Trump shared data showing which immigrant groups use welfare in American soil, and India was not on the list. That's because Indian Americans are among the highest earning communities in the U.S. Studies showing they rely very little on public assistance and pay significantly more in taxes. Experts say Indian Americans are net contributors to the economy and are often called welfare makers and not welfare takers. They also play a key role in job creation. But the pressure does not end with trade. Trump is also seizing on protests in Iran to float the possibility of U.S. military intervention, remember. And this has even sparked backlash from the Republican Party's America First faction, increasingly uneasy with what they see as an interventionist turn in foreign policy. At the same time, the Trump administration is threatening expanded sanctions against the International Criminal Court. According to a report from Reuters, it has warned the court to halt its prosecution of Israeli war crimes and even change its founding statute. All this to ensure that President Trump and his officials remain out of reach of international law. Relations with Nigeria are fast unraveling. The Trump administration and its allies are accusing Abuja of failing to protect Christian communities, with talks of possible U.S. military intervention drawing fierce pushback from Nigeria. The escalation has driven U.S.-Nigerian relations to their lowest point in decades. From Asia to Africa, from global courts to global markets, Trump's tactics hinting that this is an era of unapologetic pressure politics.